Disclaimer. The following contains content that may seem harsh for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Knock, knock. You got yourself a little guest.
Great. What do you want? Here to gloat?
Nope. Not this time. I'm here to ask you a few questions. It's about this card.
And what card would that be?
The Baryon Force card. I saw it in your deck when I was dueling you. What do you know about it?
Why do you think I would answer you anything?
Because this card is being used by an organization that call themselves the Baryon Clan. I've been dealing with them in this dimension for the past few months or so. Look, I know it's a little much asking help from a criminal, but I really need to know what information you've got. It could help save a lot of people. Besides, I'm already risking my neck as it is sneaking in here, just so I could ask you a few questions. I really need to know this, Topia. You probably know more about this card than I do.
Fine. If you must know. That card was given to me by some sort of person. When he handed it over, he said that he wanted the same thing that I wanted. And when I drew the card during my duel with Yugioh, I couldn't remember much. I mean, all I remember after drawing it was feeling such anger and rage. And then, the last thing I remember after that was just waking up, losing the duel. It was like I fell asleep. And then after that, well, everything just went downhill. That's all I know about the card.
Is that so? Did you know who the guy was that gave it to you?
No, I didn't see his face. He was covered.
Eh. Right.
You know, when you said I could help save lives, I guess that's one useful thing I'll ever be good at. After the Xyz dimension was invaded, and after I was saved from that concentration camp, all I ever thought about was revenge. I just couldn't forgive the fusion dimension for what they did. And then everything changed once One for All Dragon was given to me. I felt like I could finally accomplish that. Like I could finally be good for something. Because obviously I was so much help back when the fusion dimension invaded. I felt like I could finally do something right. That I could finally mean something. And I could start that by getting back at the same people who caused me so much pain and suffering. But afterwards, I lost everything I gained out of my trauma. The new family I gained out of the Heartland Dojo, I threw it away just for revenge. Heck, the One for All Dragon that I proved that I could wield started to reject me and see me as unworthy. That's why it blew up during our last duel. I should have seen the signs when it started going berserk. It was so troubling that it took over my opponent as well. I've had plenty of times to prove myself that I'm good for something, and I blew it every time. And what do I lose in the end? Everything I care about. Rotting forever in this prison cell is the most fitting punishment I can get. There's no reason for me to live.
You know, I only asked for information about this card. I didn't ask for your entire life story. You know something? I like to imagine people as a card. There's no such thing as a useless card. Just useless people who don't see their worth. Well, I better get going. Don't want to hang around here for too long.
Yugioh, do you think he's even coming back? I don't know. Just give him a little bit more time. Right. I don't know.
Hey, you know,
Hmm?
you don't mind if I ask you something? I mean, remember what you said when we were taking out those grunts?
The evolution dimension is very obsessed with perfection. The higher-ups in our dimension will do anything in their power to make sure that mankind is the best they can be.
Well, I was wondering what you meant by that, because your answer just seemed kind of brief. Well, hey, if it's personal, I understand. It's kind of, you know, personal. But if you really want to know, I won't stop you. Are you sure? Yeah. I think you deserve to know. Besides, you're probably going to keep asking me anyway if I don't tell you now. Okay, so what did you mean by that? Well, what I meant by that was the evolution dimension believe that in order for mankind to exist in peace, everyone needs to be perfect. They believe that perfection is key into mankind surviving as a race. I mean, it works when it comes to things like crime and whatnot, but at the cost. They require everyone in the world to be at peak condition. Anyone who's lazy or a slacker or even the slightest bit of a screw up is considered rejected and are considered outcasts. Nobodies. That includes people who have physical or mental disabilities. Sounds like a harsh environment to grow up in. Yeah, it was. I managed to hide it for as long as I could, but as I continued in school and whatnot, well, hiding it just got a lot more tougher. Eventually, I was found out, and even my parents rejected me because of it. My brother was the only one who saw me for who I really was, and pushed my disabilities aside. So you have disabilities? Yeah, I do. And when my parents found out, and I started falling behind at school, it just got worse. You're not paying attention in class again? Look, I'm sorry, okay? I just lost track.
Well then, get better!
Otherwise, I'm going to tie you down onto a track! Yes, Dad. It must have been hard for you. And then one day, they just pushed my last button. You failed an exam again? Yeah. Jesus Christ, Yugioh. What is wrong with you? Oh, come on, I tried my best. Well, you're not gonna make it anywhere in this world being you. Yeah, but I can't help but being me, you know? Well, being you is wrong. Why? What's wrong with being me? Because you're... Well, what did he say? They said... because I had disabilities, and that was a weakness. Yugioh, I'm so sorry. That was despicable of him. How could you even call him your father? How could you even stand that? I mean, there's no way that you would have bothered to stick around after that. I wasn't, which is why I ran away. Eventually, Havoc found me and assumed I was just as good as my brother. So he took me in, and thus I joined the Evolution Dimension's military as a spy. They spent the past few years training me after then. Funny thing, despite my disabilities, I actually had a very good talent for dueling, thanks to my brother. That's what Havoc wanted to exploit, so he trained me to become a dueling spy for the Evolution Dimension. He eventually discovered my disabilities, of course, and thus treated me with less respect than he did before. Every time I screwed up, he just blamed me being lazy, instead of having disabilities. And then, well, you know the rest. Yugioh. I had no idea. Yeah, I did. But, you know something? That all changed when I met you guys. Huh?
I mean, after Havoc fired me, I was starting to believe that everything my father said and everything everyone else said about me was true. But then the Lancers happened, and then the tournament happened, and then, for the first time in so long, I felt good being me. I felt like the fact that I had disabilities didn't matter anymore. Because for once in my life, everyone appreciated me for who I am. Everyone cheering me at the tournament, the well-being that you guys granted me. What I'm trying to say is that being with the Lancers changed my life. And I can thank you for that. Well... What's up? Looks like that tracking code's finally off my dual pad. And it looks like, according to this, our little blur friend is back too. Want to meet him outside? I suppose. Oh, and Yugioh, thanks for telling me. I'll keep my mouth shut. Don't mention it. You know, I actually feel better after that. I mean... Oh no. What? What's wrong? You're kidding me. Yugioh Celadon. At last, you're mine.